Today on In the Woodyard, it's wood hauling day. You're gonna see all kinds of wood basically put in the truck, in the trailer, go down the road, coming here, dumping wood, hauling wood, bringing wood back so that I can sell it. So yesterday I went and did a delivery on my way to pick up a bunch of wood. So I did a delivery and then I went and saw my dad and picked up a load of wood in the trailer here. I loaded that. You're gonna see that in just a second. And then this load that's in the truck, and I'm going to unload it all right now because I'm back in the wood yard and I have people that want this wood right now. I got 3 orders yesterday, all for 2/3 of a cord. So this wood is all sold. It's just, I got to get it out of here because I got all day today, and I got to run down and get another load because we're going to be getting some logs delivered tomorrow or the next day, and I got to clear out the area where we're going to put it on my dad's property because we're going to process it right there. That is the plan, getting a bunch of oak. I talked to my logger. He said he's got some choice chunks for me. So that's a cool thing. So this is all the ash that we processed on my dad's property, and I've been selling it like crazy because people are still buying a lot of wood because we've been fairly cold yet the end of the winter here, and a lot of people that I sell to burn wood all the time, which is a great thing. So I got 1/3 of a cord in the back of the truck, and I got 4/3 of a cord in the trailer. We're going to dump the trailer, then I'm going to back the truck up and throw this wood into that pile, take out my wheelbarrow and cart, set that here, and then we're going to go down the road and we're going to go to my dad's property. I'm going to get another load of wood and bring it back because I got people that want it, so I got to get it here. And I had stuff I had to do at my dad's yesterday, some taking care of some things, and I'm going to do some more today, so I'm going there anyway, so it makes sense. Now, some people said, isn't it kind of foolish to cut all that wood there, process it there, and then leave it there, and then bring it back and dump it, and then haul it? It's kind of what I have to do. It's he's about 90 miles away, so it takes about 1.5 hours to get there. And I've got people that want it here in the valley where I live, and it's wood that's ready to burn right now, and I'm getting very, very low on my mixed hardwood. So this is pretty much all dry ash. So I've been going down there if I've got something to do for my dad or if my brother needs something. I've been going there, processing the wood, cutting the wood, and then I bring the loads back as I have time to go get it. Yeah, it costs a little bit extra gas and time, but I didn't pay anything for it, and I've got people that want to buy it now. So each load I haul, like I said, is a total of 5 face cords or a full cord and 2/3, and I sell it for $130 per 1/3 of a cord. So that means each load that I haul is worth $650, and to go there and back cost me $40 for my gas. And obviously I got time involved in it, but after that it's pure profit. That's a matter of loading it and going delivering it to people. So, and I gotta have it because I am out of mixed hardwood. All I've got now is some hard maple. I got quite a bit of that yet, but that's going pretty fast, and I have to save some of that because I have people like my pizza restaurant, some other people that want hard maple. I just got another order from a guy, he wants some hard maple. So that's been going pretty fast. My oak is basically just about gone. I've got some white oak left, and I got a guy that wants 4/3 of a cord, a face cord, a full cord and a 1/3. He wants that delivered sometime next week. So that's going to clean out a bunch of what I got over there. And then I've got a little bit of beech, and I've got a little bit of cherry, maybe a full cord of each of those. And I'm out of wood, out. So I got to get some more wood made. And this ash has been excellent. And I'm going to get probably another truckload of this or 2. And I'm going to get at least 2, maybe 3 truckloads of oak. And that'll get me through my summertime period. So then this spring, when I move to my new place, I can start processing wood. And again, I'm going to buy a lot of barkless oak. I'm going to buy a lot of ash. I'll probably get some cherry. I'll probably get more soft maple and hard maple, stuff that will dry very fast or is already dry and ready to sell. So I can stay on what people want and I can have it available because I don't want to lose customers. I also have availability. 2 different guys I know. One in particular is just right over there. He's got all kinds of wood, so if I run low and I don't have something, somebody wants it, I can get it from him and basically just be a delivery service, make a few bucks. And then I got another guy that I found, it's north of here, that has a lot of wood that is ready. It's cut, split, dried, ready to sell right now, and he's got it for sale real cheap. And I can more than double my money by just buying it from him, hauling it, and then delivering it. So I got all kinds of options because guys are asking me, what are you going to do? It's the end of the world. You're running out of wood. No, that is the plan. Run out of wood. Sell it all. Everything must go. All right, let's dump this, chuck this, go get some more. it is. It's chucked off. It took, I don't know, 5 minutes, if that, to dump it and throw it off. Doesn't take long at all. And this is, to me, what $650 worth of dry ash looks like. And like I said, I only spent about $40 in gas to go there and get it. And then obviously I got to load it and deliver it. But that's 5 face cords or full cord and 2/3 sitting there. And I will sell that very fast because this is all that's left from the original loads that I brought. And I brought 4 loads. So, and the 4 loads were each 4 face cords or full cord and 1/3 because I didn't fill my truck because I had other gear. I had chainsaws and stuff in there, so I didn't fill my truck. So, but I had 4 other trips. This is number 5, and I probably have another 1 for sure, maybe 1.5 left of wood that I can bring. Now there's some stuff I'm not bringing because there was some walnut in there. There was some box elder. There was some basswood. And what else did I see? And some soft maple we had in there. And I didn't bring that because that's green. That was living trees that we cut down to get at the ash. And I just threw that off to the side. We'll bring that some other time. So there's a bunch there. Now some of you are going to look at this and they're going to say, oh, that's way more than $650 worth of wood. That's $1,000 worth of wood. Yeah, you might live in a big city like Chicago, or you might be in DC. You might be in an area where there's lots of people and no trees, and this is worth more money. And there's going to be some of you going to look and say, that's $200 worth because you live where there is no people and lots of trees. That's just the way it is. But for me, that's $650 for one trip. Cost me 40 bucks. We're gonna go do it again right now. Well, I am here. I just got to the property and I'm gonna be loading up my truck and trailer. It's about 45 degrees and there's like no wind. It is really sad. I feel sorry for you that you can't be here today to help me load this because this is absolutely spectacular late winter weather we're having. We're supposed to be in the 40s and low 50s for the next week, and that's supposed to get cold again, but absolutely beautiful. I feel sorry for you guys that are at work in your cubicle or wherever it is and you're watching this and you were looking out the window wishing you could be out there. Well, I'm here, so hopefully this will help you, get a little bit of satisfaction out of your day that you're inside and you're not out here in the beautiful weather. And I'm going to be loading this wood up. We're going to put 1/3 of a cord into the truck, and we're going to put 4 face cords or a full cord and 1/3 into the trailer. Now I've got 1, 2, 3 and about 1/2 piles of wood that I can load in here, and I'm going to say this is probably a load right here. Over there's about 1/2 a load, over here's a load, and over there's 1/3 of a load. So I've got about 2 more loads that I can haul back, that I can sell. There is a bunch of stuff in here that I can't haul back. Well, I can haul it back, I just can't sell it right now because there is some walnut in here, there's some basswood in here, there was some box elder, there was some soft maple, but that was cut from live green trees. I mentioned that earlier, and I don't want that right now. I'm just going to leave it sit here, let it dry out in the field here, and I'll eventually take it once it's dry, once we have it drying for 3 or 4 months, whatever. There's a bunch of, I'll show you over here on this side. So if you look over behind me here, there's a whole bunch of aspen trees, poplar. It's real thick and we want to thin that out a little bit because it's got this picky, we call it green ash. I don't know if it's ash or not, but it's a brush that gets 6, 7, 8 feet high, but it's real straggly and picky. It's kind of like wading through barbed wire. There's a lot of that in there. We want to cut that out. And then we want to cut out some of the aspen trees where there's 2 or 3 trees real close together. We'll thin it out so that we're not going to clear cut it. We just want to thin it out, almost like a select cut, like you would do to manage your property the proper way, by thinning it out so that the solid, good trees can then continue growing and mature, take some of the spindly ones out of there, probably even cut some of the small ones out and just make brush piles and burn them. So that's probably, I don't know, a couple acres over there. And then over here, this side, there's a whole bunch of Scotch pine over here that we really don't want. So we'll probably take some of that out too, because it's not really good for anything. Some people think they're ugly trees. I think they're okay. But we want to thin some of those out because there's oaks in there, and there's aspen in there, and there's probably some soft maple and things like that. So we're going to kind of thin that out. And we may even take down some of these small trees that are around out here, some of the small like white pines. And we'll probably even over here take some of these little bitty Scotch pines out, probably thin out some of these white pines and kind of clear this out and kind of open it up. And then we've got a spot right here where we've burned brush quite a few times right over here. If you can see that. That's a pile that my brother burned up like a week or so ago. We'll probably pile everything there and then burn it again in the same spot. Now some people would say, why don't you leave the brush piles for the rabbits? Well, we do have brush piles all over and there's rabbits everywhere here. which is fine. And then some people say, well, why don't you chip it? Because chipping is a lot more work and not nearly as much fun as just putting it in a big pile and burning it. Way more fun to burn it. That's our favorite thing to do, is big bonfires. I'm just a small 12-year-old child that likes fire. That's what I'm like. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna get to this wood right here. You can see it here. We're gonna start chucking. We're gonna load up the truck first, and I'm gonna back the trailer probably right into this hole right here. We're gonna load a whole bunch of ash right now. Here's the load that I just put on. And what I do, number one, is that I try to load the wood either from the side, and if I go from the back, I like the tailgate down so that the tailgate's not in the way if I back into a pile. But I try not to throw it all the way up towards the window is here. What I try to do is I lay a few pieces in to begin with. I reach over the side, let them just kind of fall so that they're not being thrown from, launched from way over there over to here where there's a chance I could hit the truck or dent the bed. I kind of just get a pile started, and when I get a base in there, then I'll go to the pile and I'll start throwing pieces in. I like to be like right here and throw it from right here. I like to throw it in the middle, always in the middle, and from the side. If I get a little dent here, it's not the end of the world, it's a work truck. But I try not to ever hit the side, obviously. It's only happened a couple times, but the number one thing I don't want to do is hit the glass and break the rear window. Now, having a tonneau cover does help, because basically that's a bumper. So if a piece does tumble and kind of go this direction, it almost always hits this. Once in a great while, you'll have a piece, if you get the pile too big, it could tip over and it could hit the window. I've only ever had it a couple times where it just kind of got, where it fell like this and it didn't really touch. It might have fell like that, because I'm pretty careful when I throw it in. And the other thing is that once I get the middle all piled up, then I'll go back in here and I'll arrange it up into the front, and I try to put it so that it's horizontal like this. You can see how these pieces run this way, and I try to stuff them in so they can't go anywhere, basically. I try to make sure each piece is locked in place, and so that it can't come through the window or come flying out. The other thing I do is that when I'm putting the wood in here, I'm purposely picking out at the end all the bigger pieces, not all the bigger pieces, but bigger ones. So there's some weight to these. They are not going to blow out. If I get a little sliver like this, I try not to have that on the top. Or if I get one that's like a wafer, like right here, I try not to have this up on the top where it can catch wind, because you don't want to catch wind because it can be bad. All kinds of reasons for that, but you don't want it to go flying out. So I try to secure it down so every piece around the outside. Now this one isn't too good a place right here, so we'll find a new home for that. Let's stick this guy in here. We can lock it in a little better. We'll put this one right here. So I kind of go around and purposely make sure they're all kind of locked in place so that if I hit the brakes hard, they're not going to come flying at me. And I want the bigger ones on top so that if the wind catches them, or if a semi goes by with a big gust of wind, they're not going anywhere. I look all the time when I'm driving down the highway, and I know you guys probably do this too. If I see a chunk of wood laying in the road or on the side of it, I look to see, is that one of mine? And it has never happened. I had one piece blow out on me probably 10 years ago. I had a bunch of really thin wafer, like shingle kind of splits. They were thinner and wider. And I got up onto the ramp going on the interstate, and a semi went blowing past me, and I saw a piece tumble out the side because it must have got blown out, and it was windy. I was driving into the wind, and I was picking up speed. I was probably 65, 70, whatever is on the interstate. And I saw one piece go out the back. So I try to not put any of the wafer thin ones on top. I try to put bigger chunks on top, and I try to make sure I stuff them down all the way around so that they're locked in place like this here, or like this here, or this here. So they're not going anywhere. I try to actually make sure each piece is solid in where it's resting. So that makes a big difference. Now, one of the things that I did by mistake, and this is something you gotta watch out for. If you got a pair of gloves that has a bunch of holes in it, like the fingertips, or in right in this area, right in here, if you get where it rips, and you go to throw a piece, and I throw underhand most of the time, and I put backspin on it so that it falls towards me, not away from me. So underhand, backspin. But if you get a piece that hits a hole, and you've got a, say, let's see if I can find one here. Say you got a piece like this right here, and there's a notch sticking out, and you're holding it like this. When you go to throw it, if that is inside your hole in your glove, or if it's caught right here, it'll catch. And what'll happen is, instead of getting the full momentum of the throw, it'll catch, and it'll spin off your hand, and you lose control of it. That's how I broke my tail light. I had a piece I threw from about this far away, and when I tossed it underhand, it hooked on my glove, and I hit the tail light cover, and it hit like right here, and it broke it kind of down there, and I thought, oh, it's not a huge deal. But eventually it filled up with water, and I had to replace it. It was like, I don't know, 80 bucks, something like that. And a couple times I've thrown them underhand like that, or even overhand if I'm kind of doing like a shot put type throw, and it's hooked on my glove, and you can hit the side here, or you can hit the side here real easily. Also, having the tonneau cover with this rail here helps. If pieces hit here, it's not a big deal, and they fall in. But I'm pretty purposeful in my throws, and I'll show you kind of what I mean. When I go underhand, and again, I almost always wear gloves, and I try to wear decent gloves, but when I'm throwing them, I'll be like this far away, and I purposely hang on tight I'm throwing a one-hander, but a lot of times I use two hands just because I'm more accurate, and I'm not going to lose control of it, because you don't want it to slip out of your hand. But if you go underhand, and give it a toss like that, and it'll fall right in place, usually. You can see where that one landed. If you're going overhand, I recommend not throwing them like a baseball overhand, because your shoulder will give out. It'll get sore. You wear your shoulder out prematurely. What I recommend doing is when you got a piece you need to launch, throw it like a shot put, like this. Kind of like that. Just give it a shove like that, and you try to always hit the middle for the most part. And the other thing, like I mentioned, is backspin. I'll show you that. So if you got a piece, if I can find one here, I don't want any of those. Those aren't ash. Here's one. Right here's a piece of ash, a nice piece of ash. So from this far away, and I want the backspin, so I'm gonna throw it like this. When you do the backspin, it'll fall right in place, generally. And you try to aim for the same spot all the time. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. But like I said, I've been doing this 50 some years, 7 years, never broke a window yet. I did break a tail light. And I did put a dent or two in my old truck. I probably had 10 dents. I don't know. I got 2 in this one already on the other side. And I didn't do them. Somebody else did. The other thing I'm going to tell you about, this is something when it comes to deliveries. When I pull up, if I'm doing a delivery with my truck, if I'm going to a place where there's a narrow driveway, or I have to go 20 or 30 miles away, and I'm delivering just a third of a cord like what's in here now, or a face cord, if people are going to help me unload, I tell them, please take it from the tailgate, and I will set it there, or I will throw it off the end. I don't want anybody coming over here, reaching over the edge, grabbing pieces down inside, because you know what they have on their coat most of the time? They have zippers, they have buttons, they have snaps, and they're on my truck, and they're rubbing up and down, and I got a scratch on my one side. A guy helped me, and I asked him, when I was there, I said, I appreciate you helping, but could you take it off from the back end? Because I had people leaning over the side, and it scratches the side of the truck, and the truck's like 6 months old. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even know. I said, that's okay. So I'm not afraid to tell them, don't do that. And if I have people helping me load wood, my sons have helped me in the past. If I got a brother or a friend helping me, I always tell them, don't throw them from a distance. Please walk over and toss them in and try to hit the middle. Don't dent my truck. I want it to last 10 years, so don't beat it up. But a big thing a lot of people don't realize is in your truck, when you're putting the pieces in there, if you throw them even from right here, I'm maybe 8 feet away, if you throw them overhand and you don't put any backspin on it, those pieces can hit so that they come down on the end. They will hit the bed of the truck, and they will bounce and go over, and they can go out the truck for one. And when they come down with all that force, like this, if it comes down into the bed of your truck and it lands, if it lands like this, what it did there in that snow is going to happen to your truck. It's going to dent it. And I've seen trucks that guys have for firewood, and they're really dented up. And that's fine for a delivery truck, or if it's an older one, you don't care. But this is, like I say, this truck is like 6 months old. I really don't want it all dented up yet. I'd like to wait 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and then it can get a few dents, because it's going to happen. I'm not under the false belief that it's going to be beautiful forever. It's a work truck. This is not a show pony. This is a truck to get work done. I didn't buy it to get mileage. And when I'm hauling a load of wood in the truck and in the trailer, I get about 10, 11 miles to the gallon. When I'm going empty with nobody riding with me, when it's just empty, I get 15 and a half, 16. I bought it to do work. I didn't buy it to get mileage. If I wanted mileage, I'd have a Prius. But then again, I'd never have one of those, I don't think. Because I buy a vehicle to do work, and that's what it's meant to do. That's why I've got it. That's why I didn't get the top of the line high country. I'm more of a low country kind of guy, so I got the custom, which is one step up from a work truck. This same truck that I have right here, I paid $56,000, I think, brand new. If I was to get the top of the line truck all decked out with leather and all the goodies, it could be $100 grand. That's not me. I don't want a truck that I'm afraid to get dirty or drive or use. I bought it to use. That's what this is for. Those trucks are beautiful, nice and everything, but most of the time, guys that have those, most of the time, not all the time, they never see gravel. They never go in the dirt. They never haul anything. It's just to drive and look pretty. And as they look out the window and they go past a store where there's glass, they like to see themselves. I'm not that guy. I could care less. I don't really care. I just want the work to get done. That's why I have the truck that does work. It's a work truck. All right, so the bed of the truck is loaded. Now I'm going to load the trailer, and I'll show you how I do that, how I get as much wind as possible. Now, some of you are going to ask, well, why don't you stack it in there? Because stacking is 100% a waste of time. That's why. I could stack it in here, and yes, I would get probably 20%, 25% more wood in here. But I would also spend twice as much time, and my time is worth more than the wood. And then I'm going to fill my trailer, and we'll get 4 face cords or 4/3 of a cord in there, and I could fit another 1/3 of a cord if I stacked it, but it would take an extra hour to do that, and that is foolish. Too much touching of the wood. So we just got done loading, and Eric's pushing up all the stuff into a pile here because the wood was all the way out to here. So we just the ground's frozen, so he's kind of just pushing all the bark and debris into a pile. So we'll pick through this and I'll pull out the stuff that's good. I got maybe another 2/3 of a cord of dry stuff, mostly in here. There's a little bit in there, but we'll just keep fluffing it and I'll pick through it, and eventually I'll get the rest of it pulled through, and then we'll take all the bark and debris and we'll shove it over into that burn pile over there. And then this whole area here is where we plan on processing the oak when I get it. We're gonna have it put here. So I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna put the processor like right over here so that the elevator goes that way. We can drive right through here with the trailer then if we want, or we can just pile it out that way and then just keep moving the processor that direction and have all of our wood piled right out here. Probably like a row right there, a row here, row there, maybe even that way, just right along here. But we'll probably get 2 to 3 full loads in here in this area. Nice big area. The semi can turn around in here pretty easily because he could pull up into there. There's a road going in there. He can pull in and back in here and then just drive straight out that direction because that's where the road is out that way. So that should work. But Eric's getting the piles up here, so that'll be good. Not too bad at all. It's nice when you got frozen ground to work with because you can scrape it pretty good. As you can see, there's not that much debris here, just that little bit. And out here, it doesn't matter anyway. And if we do process the wood here, all the sawdust will just get spread out or pushed over into that pile too. So I'm gonna head out and we're gonna go back. I'm gonna dump the load and then I'll be done for the day. But it is beautiful. It's about 45 degrees right now. Sunny, hardly any wind. Absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, it's too bad you're in your cubicle or sitting on your throne, wherever it is you are. I have returned and I am going to be dumping this wood in the back of my property where it's out of sight, out of mind. No one will even know it's here but me, because it's only going to be here for maybe a week and it's going to be all delivered. I can just dump it right here in my property and I'll pick it up and sell it. So I'll probably do that with the next couple loads. I'll just dump it back here, and it's going to not be a big pile. No one can see it back here. There's trees all around. It'll only be here for a short amount of time. All right, so I'm going to dump it right here, and then I'm going to go disconnect my trailer. It sits up over there, up on my building. It's up over that way. And then I'm going to come back here with my truck, and I'm going to throw the wood that's in the truck on top of this pile, so it's all right in one spot. So be a little extra work, but it'll be done and it'll work. And I use the tarp whenever I have a full load because I don't want pieces blowing out on the highway. It just looks better. And I figure if there's ever going to be a DOT guy or a ossifer that doesn't like it, if it looks good, they tend to kind of look the other way. If it looks sketchy, that's when they pull you over. So I try to not just make it legally secure by having all the right stuff, you know, your safety chains, your breakaway brake engaged in a different spot, your electric hooked up, the right ball. I like everything to be legal, and then I like it to look nice too, because I do this so much. I don't want to be inspected. I'm sure you don't either. There it is, a thing of beauty, a pile of wood. It's 5 face cords, cord and 2/3, 5 ricks, ranks, rows, however you want to say it. It's done. I'm going home. See you tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. Good night, Irene.